Being the daughter of a teacher has its pros and its cons. A pro is having my mom sign my papers whenever I need to if one day I was maybe irresponsible. And a con is always having to hear about her class, whether it's good things, whether it's bad things, whether she has a big class, a small class, a good day, or a bad day. I always have to listen to those things. Being in a small class is definitely beneficial to everyone. Teachers love it, and the teachers and the students are able to gain a better connection with each other. The benefits of small classes, stated in a article called Why Class Size Matters, said that there's higher test scores. The higher test scores are because of the better grades and the improved attendance. The better grades and the improved attendance comes because the students are feeling accomplished because they have the better grades, therefore they want to be at school and want to learn more and continue to accomplish those achievements and goals that they have then set for themselves. Kids aren't nearly as sick as much. There's less germs to pass around, less places for germs to be, and less places for the kids to spread the germs to, resulting in kids not getting sick as nearly as much because during the cold and flu season, there's not those germs for the students to spread. They're again causing them to be at school more often to get those better grades and help with the higher test scores. It's also easier for the kids to learn. They have less distractions with less students around them, and with the less distractions, they are able to get help sooner when they're working on their homework. Instead of um, having to wait for a teacher for 4 to 5 minutes, they wait 1 to 2 minutes and are able to get help and get focused right back on what they're doing rather than raising their hand for 4 to 5 minutes getting off task. A teacher's perspective of the smaller classes, I discussed in an interview with my mom. One thing she made very clear was that she was able to help kids more rather than the students having to wait to be called on or wait to be helped. They were able to be helped sooner, helping them gain the knowledge they need to do those problems and get done with the homework assignment, lab, whatever the situation was. Another thing my mom mentioned in the interview was that she was able to help the smarter kids excel in the subjects that they could. Meaning that the kids that were smart enough to maybe do multiplication in a lower grade, or maybe to write cursive at a younger age, or to do a harder lab or a harder paper, read a chapter book or something like that, she was able to let do those things because of the smaller kids in the class and the less variety of educational levels that were within the students within that class. Therefore, she also mentioned being able to help the kids on the lower end of the class move up to the kids with the higher level of education because she was able to give those higher level of education kids something to do while helping and improving the knowledge of the students towards the bottom of the class, which she found very helpful for the kids as they grew older because then they had that knowledge and background that they needed for the years to come. Another thing is with the smaller classes in labs, the students were able to have a more hands-on activity with whether it's beetles or a type of animal or batteries and magnets and paper clips and stuff like that. The students were able to have a more hands-on experience rather than having a big group and having some kids sit back and watch. They were all able to dig in and play with the magnets or play with the animals, the crayfish, the mice, the beetles, crickets, anything, and learn more about them and become more into the laboratory rather than just sitting back and watching other kids. Another thing that she mentioned, which is a great time saver for her and any teacher with a smaller class, was that they didn't have to check as many papers, obviously. Having 15 papers to check rather than 25 or 28 papers to check was close to a half hour difference, she decided, and in that half hour, rather than checking the papers, she was able to focus more energy and time onto the lesson plans for the next day, the next week, um, if she was going to be gone or something like that, and plan something fun for the kids to do. Find a fun video for the kids to watch, or plan a period of recess for the kids to play games and board games and card games and stuff like that. Benefits for both the teachers and the students. In an article that was named How Important is Class Size, they discussed that the teachers with fewer students in their class were less stressed or didn't have so many things on their mind and were able to focus more on the students and the task at hand, being able to support them more in whatever it was, whether it was math class or a science lab, being able to support them, telling them, yes, you can do this, yes, you will be able to figure this problem out, and be able to give them that attention they need and that courage they need to be able to go through and work through the problem. During the rides home with my mother as a teacher were very interesting, hearing all the different things she had to say about her day. She always mentioned when she had the kids with the higher test scores and the hands-on experiences in the labs and how much the students loved those. She also wasn't nearly as stressed when she had those smaller classes because she was able to focus more time on the kids and get projects done and not have to worry about them later on in the evening.